the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Tell you what, it feels a bit warmer and cozier in the studio. I know I'm comforted because brand new episode, season 2 of Maggie Dent's podcast, The Good Enough Dad, is out now. Episode 1 with Larry Emder. I love that. Maggie Dent, welcome and give us a hug. Give Sydney a hug.
She's just the best. Can I kick this off? I was listening to a podcast the other day. There was a guy, Maggie, by the name, and it's the environment that kids have around at home. And do you know what? We're talking about kids all the time with you, but there's different parenting styles that I've never really thought about before. This guy's called Alain de Botton is his name. He has a master's in philosophy, and he was talking about environments at home. But have a listen to this.
Children come into the world, and all of us are honed by nature to figure out, what do I need to do here to survive? In some families, you need to excel academically. In some families, you need to fail academically. In some families, you need to be very witty. In some families, you need to be invisible.
Why would you need to fail in some families?
Oh, well, the classic one is parental envy. Some parents are hugely envious of their own children.
What?
And they cannot bear that their child, who they've put on the earth, should be happier than they've managed to be.
This blew me away, Maggie. Have you seen cases of this parental envy?
Oh, look, I have to say that can be a thing. And when I've worked with teenagers over the years, sometimes the pressure from their parents for their academic grades is so, debilitating, because they know if they don't get that A, the A+, when they go home, they're just, you know that you're not loved right there. You let everyone down. Parental disappointment it's like a knife in their heart. And yet sometimes parents aren't even aware they're doing it. They're thinking, I'm encouraging you and I'm, giving you that motivation and I'm telling you to aim high, but sometimes it doesn't land that way with a kid. And it can be, and another really difficult one is, and, because we're going to talk about dads, the dad that's into rugby and into sport and into watching wrestling, and then he has a boy who likes music. He can also struggle in that space because he's just not in the, I feel like I let my dad down. I've actually shared so many stories with boys around that I'm a failure for my dad.
Right.
It's a tough one because, this is the other one, and we've spoken about this so many times, Maggie, about, it's just, my son, he loves football, but he also loves his video games. We talk about video games with you all the time and how much time he actually gets on there. But I actually see the joy in his face, Maggie, when he plays it. And now we had a no video game policy at home. That's completely changed now because I can see the joy that he gets out when he's on there with his mates. It's just a matter of pulling it back. But yet I just said to my wife, we can't deny him this because he loves it so much.
So one of the things we know about boys particularly is they're hunting dopamine, right? They're hunting that really good neurochemical. It makes you feel freaking amazing, right?
Yep.
Well, they don't all of them get it at school because quite often they've got to sit longer than they want to and their stuff's boring and they don't think it's going to be... Trust me, I taught Year 9 boys who really thought writing an essay was a waste of time because they're going to play football for Australia.
Yep.
But what happens when they're video gaming, it's instant shots of dopamine.
Yeah.
Like when they're doing it with their mates, the second thing that teenagers particularly want and boys want is connection with friends. And so you're filling the connection cup, you're filling this competence cup, like, am I getting better and better? And you're filling the fun cup. And so it's not a bad thing at all, but what we got to make sure is they're not doing it all night. And that also that their language doesn't escalate, because that's one of the things parents say sometimes. They hear this horrible language coming out of their room.
That happens.
And going, that's not my son. But when we pull them back up on that, saying if you want to keep playing, then that sort of language has got to stop. So once again, it's not all harmful, but we've got to make sure we've got boundaries around it.
Can I ask, Maggie, back to the point you made, Fitz, and I think this is one thing as a parent. I'm trying to work out quite often with my kids, where's the line of me being a constructive dad in supporting a child and encouraging them to do something, and then me forcing them past the point where they're not interested. So how do I know when I go from, hey, you're going to play this sport and you're going to do that, to, do you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe that kid doesn't want to do that sport. Where do you stop?
Oh, look, that's one of the biggest parenting dilemmas, isn't it? That we, and I keep on saying to parents, when your kid comes home and wants to sign up for, soccer or netball because all their friends are, and then week 3, they don't want to go again.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
A
you've
message
just paid
from
all
a
the
cupboard
fees.
in my house with taekwondo uniforms, full soccer kit, everything. Straight onto Facebook Marketplace.
Taekwondo.
Same sort of thing. Like, we do want to encourage them to stretch and grow. And sometimes they want to go because their friends are doing it, but we really do need to know that sometimes too much, and I think we're over-scheduling today's children.
Right.
No question, we've got far too much on, and then they're exhausted and tired, and then we wonder why they get grumpy.
The podcast, The Good Enough Dad. I love this, Maggie, because you do talk to all sorts of different dads, and one of the great parts of this podcast is when you ask about fails.
Oh, man.
Dad fails.
So beautiful, because we wanted to normalise that there's no perfect in parenting and stuff.
No.
But dads can often take these things really, really personally. Like, I've mucked up, and then
Yep.
they want to, they really want to beat themselves up, because you've got to look at the boys' and men's worth often comes from what I do good, and I give myself self-worth. So when I've mucked up, I feel really, really bad.
Can you share the Guy Sebastian one?
God.
Because this is a beauty.
Yeah, I just kind of had Guy up there as, this amazing human, and he just opened up so beautifully. When I asked for the dad fail, he burst out laughing, said, I've got a really good one, Maggie. It probably is the best of 2 seasons.
Okay.
So we know he's got a place down in Giroa, which is not far from me, and he's got a tinny down there, so quite often they go out and get some squid.
Yep. Yeah.
Easter weekend, picture it, and Archie, his younger son's at the front of the boat, and he said, going out, and there's people everywhere, of course, and he said, and as I went to jump in, I've actually knocked the tiller on the boat, and I've ended in the water, and the boat's taken off doing loops, right? Oh. And of course his son's screaming out, Dad, 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 and he's saying, don't jump, because he's worried about the propeller, and each time the boat came round he had to duck so he didn't get his bits cut off. And then he says, eventually I've worked out which way it's going. I've got Archie to jump off, got him to shore, and then I'm out there trying to, all these attempts to get it, and eventually gets in the boat and quietly brings it back. And I just thought, he said his son keeps saying, no, Dad, no, don't want to go get this squid. I'm scarred for life on that. But don't you think it's just a beautiful, honest, accidental moment that you thought was going to be a treasured memory that went absolutely
What a great image
tits
that
up.
paints.
But often the fails are the treasured memories.
Aren't
Like,
they?
just hearing you speak there, I'm like, oh, God, I remember my dad took it upon himself to treat me to a haircut. And what ensued just
butcher.
has gone down in family folklore. I went into the salon as an average 10-year-old, and I came out looking like the Queen on a coin.
Oh my God.
You're kidding
I
me.
had this like a Play-Doh old lady hairdo,
Wow.
and I'm sure that he beat himself up over that. But that's become one of our greatest hysterical memories together.
Yeah, I have a pretty big one that only farm kids would have. So when a sheep's fly blowing, you use these clippers to cut it off, and then you spray them with stuff that kills all the maggots and everything. And I'm holding the sheep for Dad, right, with my wellies on. And as he's cutting, all these maggots are going into my boot. And I'm sitting there thinking, right, in a moment I've got to walk. And it was one of those moments, what would my dad want me to do? And I've just thought, I can do this. And just walked off and just squashed all the maggots in my boots.
Maggots.
But I thought, and I told my dad later, and he just gave me a big wink, like,
Good on you,
that's
Dal.
my girl. That's my girl.
Why have you not had the nickname Maggot Dent ever
I
since?
did. And I also wrote a poem once called Maggots. And the new teacher nearly fainted because she was a city girl and she really didn't get the quite...
Maggots in my boots by Maggie Dent.
Can you remember any of the stanzas from Maggots
No,
by
I can't.
Maggie?
But it was very vivid.
That is so
Very
good.
vivid.
Alison from McGrath Hill. Hello, Alison.
Hi guys, how are you? Hi Maggie.
Hi.
You're live with Maggie. What is your question?
My question is, it's probably a little bit of a long-winded one, but my daughter seems to second-guess herself in tasks that she's more than capable of doing. So, for example, we do little athletics. She's a good runner. Did really well last season. It was her first season. And so when it comes to the long distance, straight away she's like, I can't do it. She starts getting a stitch, all that sort of stuff. We do the positive reinforcement, and it's the same with, like, her academics, like, particularly maths. She starts sort of stressing out and sort of getting upset with herself before she's even attempted.
What do you do, Maggie?
Now,
Oh, it's really, really common, remember? Really, really common. So one of the things I'm going to say might sound a bit woo-woo and a bit weird, but what I want you to do, because I've worked in this space for years as a counsellor, is I want her, the last thing she does at night and the first thing is in the morning, she's going to visualise herself nailing it. like getting those test results. She's going to see herself running like the wind. The more times that she does that vividly, the brain thinks she's already done it, so it tends to move the doubt and the self-doubt away. And there's a, a visualisation on my website called Accepting Myself, which is a neuro-linguistic programming technique where they see a big white screen and they watch themselves confident. Because they run a video in their head and we need to turn that video off. Yeah. And the sooner we turn it off. So I used it with all my classrooms when I was still teaching it. Oh, my gosh, you should have seen the difference in the grade. So
I love that.
There you go. You can't talk them out of a mindset or a belief or a pattern, but we've got to change the video in the mind.
And I think that comes from, because I've got 3 kids as well, ranging from 16 to 12, and I have seen that exact thing happening. Oh, I can't do it. And I think there's so much pressure to be the best at everything. And I just say to my kids that really it is about the journey. It's about having a crack.
It's excitement
you don't have
about
to
effort.
be the best. I don't expect you to be the best. No. I'm not the best at anything. Nobody I know's the best at anything. But gosh, it's fun to have a go.
Celebrate effort. Always celebrate effort. And get up and have a go, even if you've got no chance of winning. They're the messages.
Just
really
quickly, Maggie, girls and boys difference. At what age should they
you
start?
Asking me
No. But what mental resilience? At what age do they start getting a bit of mental resilience and they start pushing back?
Look, they can develop that at any point in their whole life journey, because what resilience really is that I can come across things that challenge me or that are adversity or difficulty, and I have an ability to push through because I've experienced it. Yes. This is one of the reasons I keep saying your kids are supposed to fall out of trees. They're supposed to fall over. They're supposed not to get one prize in Pass the Parcel, because we're wanting them to get used to moments that are difficult so that we can go through it. So the more times they deal with those, the sooner that happens, regardless of gender.
Gotcha.
And that's a really important message for us, not to keep rescuing our kids.
It's so true. Mel in Blackstone, your question for Maggie Dent.
Hi, I have a question regarding taking my children to the shops. I have a 3-year-old who always ends up wanting a lolly, and if I say no, he then has a complete meltdown. My question is, do I just cave in and just buy one each time? Do I deal with it there at the shops and talk to him about it, or do I just take him home and have that discussion with him later?
All right. So, of course he wants a lolly. Who doesn't? I'd still like one too if I went and I'm 70. What I've got to suggest to you is that before you get out the car, you're gonna have a little chat to him and say, when we there's only these days of the week, and of course he's not going to know those days, is he? But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if we've not been really awful to my mum and drawn lipstick on the wall and things, there will be a lolly treat when I go shopping, right? And then you pull up in the car park and you go, what day is it? Today is this day. So it is a treat day. Today is Tuesday, no treat day. So we okay with that? Not right. But if we have a tantrum about today, then there won't be one tomorrow. And it might sound really, but they learn. Okay, so you're not banning forever, because if you're banned forever, I'm going to get upset too, because I like my chocolate. But so we're actually setting him up to now know to be able to predict what are the days that he can look forward to going to you. Plus the other thing is, leave him with someone else so he goes shopping.
That's exactly what I did.
Yep.
My kids haven't been to the supermarket for years.
Oh, Scott in Schofield, your question for Maggie Dent.
Hey, Maggie, how you going?
Good.
My question is, my 9-year-old boy, he's quite nervous and shy, even like around strangers, but even with people that we know. We'll be out at sporting events and things like that, and people will talk to him, but he avoids eye contact. And I just want to know what's the best way to support him, or how do I get him out of his shell?
Oh, well, it sounds like he's a lamb. So lambs are less brave. They've turned up less brave, less fearless. But I'm going to give you a couple of things that really can help in that space. Is you practice at home. So you role play situations with him, like he's a stranger, put on some weirdo face mask or something and say, so mate, how you going? Hello. You actually practice the things. It's a bit like what I said before about the video in the head. To build his confidence, you practice like heck. So you can, everyone in the house can play. And bottom line, he becomes an adult sometimes and you're the child, and you can mimic how he might be a bit reluctant. But we also, so there's another strategy I used with a lot of shy children early on, and they had to have, had to pick out some undies that were their brave undies.
Awesome.
So bright red, bright yellow, whatever. And so there were days when they were going to be going out that potentially they might meet people they're not so sure at. they had to wear their brave undies or their fun undies, whatever you want to call it, because it sort of makes them feel a little braver on the inside, and it's a bit of fun. But what I do want to say is don't ever force him, because when we force a child who's a little bit shy and anxious, we set them up for a whole lifetime full of dread.
Yeah,
so we've got to make sure we allow them to be, stay with me until you're safe. It's quite often in Circle of Security. It's a brilliant parenting program. Our kids want to stay close to the safest person and venture a little bit and then come back. And then you're gradually helping him go a little bit further each time so that, he will gradually develop that capacity later.
And Maggie, would you agree with me here? Because I've got a couple of shy kids and and I'm not shy.
Oh, really?
As you can tell. And I sort of realised early on when I got this shy child out of nowhere that me trying to encourage them, I feel like I was coming from a good place because, interacting with human beings is the greatest joy in my life, and I wanted them to have that too. When I realised that me talking about it kind of got lost in translation. Yeah. I was saying, this is a great way to be, try this, try that. But what they're hearing is, you're not good enough the way you are.
You're actually failing as you are. You're dead right, Missy. I know. Best intentions in the world. Welcome to the tricky part of parenting.
Oh my God.
So now I just say, you're either a shy person or you're going through a shy phase. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly normal.
Celebrate those ones. Celebrate the lambs and the roosters.
Yeah. Let's take one more call. Leah in Harrington Park. Your question for Maggie Dent, Leah?
Oh, good morning, Maggie. Thanks. I just wanted to know, I've got a 15-year-old son, and I've been a fan of yours for, since he was conceived, to be honest. It was my first gift given. He's not a fan of showering, teeth, hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is really common. Now, the weirdest thing about our tween and teen boys is they actually don't realise they smell.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm in a classroom full of them, right, and I'm nearly passing out, and not one of them notices that there's this body odour in the room. They don't smell it. So they want to say, look, why should I bother? Because A, I don't smell and there's no skid on my jocks. Like, what's the point of saving water? Okay, so I don't know if you can try this, but I did it with my 4-year-old son because he was decided he didn't want to shower and bath anymore. So I tried the incentivising, of course, and it's not going to work with a 15-year-old boy. But what I said to him at one point, I sat with him and said, mate, Mummy doesn't have a penis. But, if I didn't wash it, I reckon it'd go mouldy and fall off. He was in the shower like a flash. So at the end of the day, I'd probably come with, that sort of thing that if you don't look after your penis,
it'll fall off.
It could get a bit rotten.
He's 32 now and still thinks there's something.
The more you nag, the less he's going to shower.
Tommy, it's worked for you, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, slowly but surely. Thank you, Maggie.
Maggie,
you don't have to wash it now, Tom.
I've got a 16-year-old. Is there a nice way to say you're a bit on the nose? Because it's an insulting thing. If anybody said to me, you stink, I'd be so offended.
All right, so let me give you the tip. It's such a crazy thing because, of course, I had housefuls of boys. They all brought their mates and ate me out of house and home. But you know what? The mother of one of your son's mates is the person who drops the truth bomb. Because while they were in my house, there was a boy, oh my God, and I said, mate, I'm going to take you home soon. I can't have that. Oof, really off. Awesome. Do you want to go up and put some anti-BO on? And he went, yeah, no worries. Well, his mum's been trying to nag the hell out of him because he really likes coming to my house. I'm not his mother.
Yeah.
And he knows I like him. Yes. He goes up, but you know what? He did that. But when I came back later, he sprayed the whole mirror with the deodorant all over the mirror because he thought that was funny too.
Oh.
Okay. He's not welcome in your home anymore.
No,
I love him. He was. He definitely was.
Oh, Maggie Dent, that is sensational. Thank you for helping us.
Her brand new podcast, The Good Enough Dad, it's out now. Like you said, Larry M does the first episode. You got Guy Sebastian, Cameron Daddo. We love Cameron Daddo. Yeah. You've also got war veterans, 2 professional surfers. The podcast is out now.
Oh, you have to hear about the bit about surfers. My boys were going to sack me as their mother because they're all surfers.
Oh.
because I didn't have any surfers or AFL footballers. No, they're just cutting me out. They're going to cut me right out. So I've nailed it. I'm allowed to stay there, Mother, because I've got them.
That's great.
We love you, Maggie. Thank you very
Thanks,
much
guys.
for coming in.
Thanks, Maggie Dent.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Can we talk about Kings of Leon? I love Kings of Leon. Great band.
You've just shown me a photo of them too.
Okay, I'm sure. So they formed early 2000s. Whip. That's them. That's the followers. So there's three brothers, the Follow Wheel brothers, and that's their cousins there as well.
Right. Okay.
Jared. Or is it Nathan? I don't know. Anyway, there's a cousin in there. They're all family. That's when they first started. I mean, they were heartthrobs, rock and roll, around the time of the Strokes. I mean, they were partying hard, mate. I mean, the lead singer, Caleb, he's married to a supermodel, Lily Aldridge.
Yeah, right, okay.
I mean, it's been a life of rock and roll. And amazing. If you've ever seen Kings of Leon live, they are a great live band. You know what? Good-looking guys, rock stars.
Yep.
How things have changed. Caleb, the lead singer, brought out a video yesterday. They're just about to start a huge UK and European tour, and this is what's happened now to Kings of Leon.
Hello to everyone out there, especially our European fans that are preparing to come see us this summer. Unfortunately, I regret to inform you that those shows will have to be canceled due to a freak accident that happened the other day. Broke my foot pretty bad, just playing with my kids. It's pretty gnarly. I'll spare all the details, but we're fortunate enough to have some great doctors here in Nashville that gave me emergency surgery.
Now, Dave Grohl broke his leg on stage, didn't he?
Yes, yep, and then kept performing.
He said, someone grab me a seat, I can't walk, and finished the set.
Yeah.
Now, look at this pansy telling me he's playing in the backyard, probably on the trampoline.
Axl Rose did it.
And
Axl Rose was on a seat for a while. As Zach De La Rocha did it as well from Rage Against the Machine. He broke his leg and he just kept performing in a seat.
What's happened to the real rock star? I mean, we remember the time we had that interview, and this is when I realised people change, Fitz. You and I caught up with Robbie Williams at the Four Seasons here in Sydney.
Yeah.
And we're talking to him. Now, to take you back to the great Robbie Williams days, there was a guy that we know. Remember Ian, the security guard?
Yeah.
Ian was in Saint-Tropez, and his job was to make sure that Robbie didn't get out of the compound in the house where he was staying.
Yeah.
Robbie pinched the keys to the moped and took off and went missing for 4 days and then went into rehab for 2 weeks. Now, that was Robbie Williams. And then, during the interview, cut to us at the Four Seasons, he realises it's a Tuesday and he says, "Oh, that's great. I'm allowed to have some sugar today." And we went, oh, my God. Back in the day, Robbie,
I know,
you would have thrown anything you could into the system to get a high, and now you're excited that on a Tuesday you're allowed a piece of chocolate?
I know.
What's happened to rock stars in 2025?
Well, it is. I mean, it is hard. You get older, and that's the thing. Kids ruin your lives. And that's what I want to focus on today. When did the kids injure you? And it's usually trying to save the kids or do something, or you're playing with the kids. It could be something minor at a playground. Where I remember we used to have a water slide park called Magic Mountain where we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it was quite steep. It was really radical. And I used to go down with Dad, and Dad used to weigh a bit. Dad was up around about 100 kilos when he was at his peak football career. And I remember Dad used to hold. You know, we used to go down with your dad when you were too young, and you'd be in between his legs.
Yeah.
I remember he had a big final coming up that weekend, and I just wanted him to go faster and faster. And we went down this steep bit. As we went down the bottom and turned around the corner, Dad got airborne. Not just injured me, because he went up, landed on me. He landed on his shoulder and popped his shoulder out.
Oh, no. So you've been crushed, his shoulder's out, and everyone's had a good day at Magic Mountain.
He couldn't play that week, and there was that moment of, oh, no, he's injured me, and he's out for the week.
Okay.
How did the kids injure you? Sarah and Taramara, what happened, Sarah?
I was with my dad and I broke his finger because I slammed it into the cupboard.
Oh, no. It wasn't his pinky, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, did Dad get angry, or did he play it cool?
No, all funny looking.
Oh, no. Straight to the doctor. Stretch that thing out and put it back together.
Well done, Say. Let's go to Alana now in Warrenora Heights. Tell us what happened with you.
Yeah, so it was actually my brother. He was running around the backyard with his probably 4-year-old daughter then, and they got pavers out the back, and he's just tripped, and he's taken her with him. So he flipped her around so he didn't land on her. He's landed on his shoulder and he's broke a couple of bones in his shoulder.
Oh, don't. But saved her, Alana. He's a hero.
Yeah, so that's what he keeps telling us. But it was really strange because my husband had a shoulder operation at the same time, and my brother's wife had also had a shoulder operation. So all three of them were in slings.
Oh, package deal.
Very hard to look at the kids. Very hard to look at the kids the same way after that, isn't it?
Mel's in Northmead. What happened to your partner, Mel?
So he used to do athletics when he was young, and as his kids were going to athletics, they were in their early teens, he's decided to be the cool, healthy dad and do senior athletics, and he was doing a 200-metre race and ruptured his Achilles.
That's what Guy Sebastian just did. Now, you're out for a long time, a minimum of a year, Mel. So that was the end of his sporting career after that?
He's never gone back to athletics. He's never gone back to touch footy. And we were meant to go to a ski holiday in Canada 3 months after that.
Oh, no.
And that wasn't happening either.
Oh, Mel, cancel it all. Santhia, hello.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. What's your story?
So my brother was outside kicking a ball around, got a ball on the roof, and Dad's gone up to go get it, slipped off the ladder and actually broken his back in 3 places.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, not funny at all.
Just to get the ball.
How is he? Is he okay now?
He's actually okay. So the spine, it's stable, what they called it. So nothing's broken off or anything. So he can walk and sit. He's just in heaps of pain at the moment.
Most important question as well, Santhia, as well. Did anyone film it so you can put it up on socials?
No, I mean, my brother's always on his iPad, but that one.
No, missed it. So you asked the question, did it really happen?
Rowan in Currajong, how did your father-son fishing trip go wrong?
Not real good. Little fella, when he first took him out on the boat, he stood up really fast and got me in the eye with the end of the fishing rod and literally split open my eyelid. And then as he went to pull it away, the hook got me in the side of the head.
No, it didn't. Around the temple?
I had to go to the hospital and get a hook removed out of the side of my head and stitches in my eyelid. All off one.
Hadn't even got the line in the water, Ryan.
You got a nibble. He's got a nibble. You got to pull him, Dad.
I think I've caught a temple and an eyeball at the same time.
Yeah, they're always good.
Oh, Rowan, good on you for making the effort, mate.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.